Not long after my 30th birthday, I got a phone call that would forever change the entire course of my life. It was the phone call that I had end-stage cancer and I had 5 years to live. I think it's safe to say that this was the most painful and traumatic and devastating season of my entire life. So I relate to Naomi when she says, "Hey, I'm totally empty. God, I feel like your hand is absolutely against me. And I'm kind of angry about the whole thing." Let's read about it. Ruth, chapter 1, starting in verse 19. "And when they came to Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the woman said, 'Is this Naomi?' She said to them, 'Do not call me Naomi. Call me Mara. For the Almighty has dealt so bitterly with me. I went away full, and the Lord has brought me back empty. So why call me Naomi? When the Lord has tested against me, and the Almighty has brought calamity upon me.'" Naomi was so scared and mad and bitter that she wanted to change her entire name, which in this day was a big deal because your name was your identity. Your name defined you. And she no longer wanted to be called Naomi, which meant pleasant. She was now Mara, which means bitter. Let me read for you the definition of the word bitter. Let's just see if you can relate at all. Bitter means angry, discontent, in misery. Listen to this one. A heaviness that you just can't seem to lift. Can you relate to Naomi? I bet you can. Of course she was bitter. Of course she was mad at God. Of course she had questions. The last 10 years of her life had been a living hell. She had lost her husband. She had lost both of her children, and now she was living as a foreigner, a woman who was marginalized, oppressed, not even a second-class citizen. The day I got the news that I had cancer, my brain ran every emotion there is. I was completely disconnected from everything that I knew was real and rational. I had every question for God. I was so angry in one moment and so broken the next. Like Naomi tells her daughters-in-law when they want to follow her, "Get away from me. Don't come after me because I am not good for you right now." I said these exact words to my family because I would be so extreme in the midst of this crisis and this pain. In one moment, I would be weeping in a corner, depressed and asking someone to hold me and hug me and pray with me. The next moment, I would become this terror, violent, snapping everybody. I even broke a mirror. You and I experience life and death all day long, 100 times a day in big and small ways. From that disappointment, working to quit that addiction, staying in that hard marriage, staying with that exhausting friend, continuing to pray for that child for years who just cannot seem to make a good choice. Heal at home. Now, the Lord gives us great self-preservation techniques. In fact, in some of our greatest pain, He will let us surround ourselves with that which is most comfortable. Naomi wanted to go home, not just because it was familiar, but because that is where she met God. It's where she could hear from Him. It's where she could see Him, sense His presence. Think about it. We don't even see Naomi say that she is bitter, her most honest feeling, until she gets home with her girlfriends. I mean, can't you just see it? The women come out, they see Naomi, and she just crumbles because they're her people. I don't know about you, but I've got girlfriends and I've got girlfriends. I've got girlfriends on the periphery who I love, have a good time with. But then I've got girlfriends that just to see their face crater me. I can be my most honest self with them. I can say the most stupid things. They even let me change my name from time to time because they are not going to reject me no matter what I say. And can't you just see Naomi walking up the streets to her hometown, and here come her girlfriends, and finally she says what she really feels. "I am bitter. Don't even talk to me. Let me tell you about who I am and what I have been through." And I can just picture them going, tell me, we need some good gossip since you've been gone. This home for Naomi is such a great visual picture for us as believers of what it should feel like to coexist in the local church. Now, the local church is one dysfunctional family, but it is our family. It is our home base. Sisters, we've got to go home to heal. If you are in pain, if you are going through a dark season, you've got to get to church. You have got to surround yourself with like-minded people who are going to point you to God and not away from Him. In Moab, everybody was worshiping things that could never give them comfort, never give them joy or peace. Moabites were worshiping sex and money and platform and food. Sound familiar? If you find yourself in an especially dark season, go home to heal. Let yourself lament with the people who can pray for you, cry with you, laugh with you, make a meal for you, pray for you. The people who know your real name. In the life of Naomi, we learn that pain does not get the last word. In fact, you will find that pain is God's way of preparing us for our purpose and revealing His promise. I'm Casey Van Norman, and I am with my dear friends, Nicole Johnson and Jada Edwards, and we have loved working on this project for you. We have learned that regardless of whether we are women in the 21st century or women on the pages of the Bible thousands of years ago, we all need each other. We all hurt from the same place, and we all want the same thing, to be enough. So, welcome to the story of Naomi.